G'day everyone and welcome to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'm Nat and this is my Knackers Yard. And a relieved Nat. Yeah, a very relieved Nat. Now I started last night to whip the wheel off to swap the discs over, and I hit a snag. And for any watchers that are on the Facebook group that I tend to use, which is Motorcycle Rescue and Jake Called Parts Facebook group, I did chuck a photo up, and I'd chuck one up here. Jumping back in, not quite sure how I'll edit that, but I got a stock knot and I could not get rid of it, and I have got rid of it through the advice of others as much as anything else. It's basically my own fault, I think, because I went straight for the impact driver to get them off, whereas actually if I'd gone for a slower approach with a long lever, which is what I did for a few of the others, it works. So I'd rounded out the middle of the bolt. There's a decent one there, but I'd rounded out the middle of the hex. So my initial approach was to, and you can see every tool that I've used out here trying to get them off, my initial approach was to angle grind a slot out the middle, or slice a slot out the middle, and then try and get it out. That didn't work. I then cut the edges through. I trashed the old disc, but the disc is knackered anyway, but cut it through to get a stub at the top to try and wrench around. Again, no joy. Whilst I was doing it and trying to drill it out, I snapped a drill bit into it, which was a bit of a disaster. Snapped a drill bit into it, which then meant I was struggling to drill out of it. Lost my rag, gave up for an hour or so. Then went back to it and just basically leathered it with every drill that I've got, and snapped a few others doing it, but just to get that drill bit out. Dug enough of a hole. I do have screw extractors, but I've never had any joy with them. I'm glad to say this time I did. So there's the bugger. That's the extractor that's in there. So that was, this is going to be quite tricky with one hand. There we go. So that's the extractor. It's got like a drilly piece on this side, and obviously a left-handed thread throughout. I say obviously, I've got another kit which I'm going to show you actually, because it really pisses me off. Got another kit here that I've got to replace the one that I've got in my hand that I used, because it's got these extractors which I thought would be really cool, because they're left threaded, undo thread. The drill bits that they give you to drill the hole to put that in are normal threaded, so you are tightening the nut to drill a hole and then trying to extract it, which is just a, excuse my French, fucking stupid idea. And then the extractors are round, apart from a tiny little squared bit on the end. Now if you can find a drill that can get a decent grip of that, you're a better man than I am. So anyway, that's shite, utter shite, point where it's going to go in the bin shortly at some point. So I went back to my old kit, which is one of these, which I had given up on because I've kind of rounded the edges on a few of the bits. So yeah, so got to a decent hole, thought sod it, I'll give it a go. Nicked my wife's cooking hot air blower, which I best put back before she notices. I don't have a flame blower, but I do have access to a little creme brulee maker, I think that's what it's for. Heated it up, got that in with the drill, only to discover I couldn't get it any further. I thought, oh sod it, I'll give it a go with the angle, with my impact driver, and I started to get movement. Cool. Now all of this is kind of nugatory, to be honest, because last night out of frustration I ordered a new one, which I would be annoyed about, but the one that I've, a new one, a replacement one, the one that I've got comes with a tyre, with a shed load of tread left on it, is a pretty much new tyre, for less than it would have been to get a new tyre. Yeah, so I'm going to put the disc on this, put it back on so I've got mobility and I can move it around and all that sort of stuff, and then replace it when the other one arrives, and then probably just flog that off because there's nothing wrong with it now once I've got the new disc on it. Speaking of discs, so I've got that's the one that I trashed getting off, but there isn't. Oh, there we go. Now I think that's the easiest way of doing this. No real good way of showing it. It is really ridged, pretty much uniformly, but worse in some places than others. And you can hear that ridging on the replacement. It's just nice and flat. So I'm going to bang that on. I am, excuse the pun, at one nut down, because obviously I've knacked one on the way through. But that's fine. I'll just order a replacement. I might actually leave two off, just so I'm not going to be riding it around, but leave two off just so I know what I'm shopping for. And I'll get one times replacement and then just flog the wheel on as a whole. Right, I'm going to get that on so it's all in one piece. I think while I've got access to the back, it probably deserves a bit of a clean, and I might try and just have a decent clean up / inspection of that chain. I mean, it looks fine, it just looks a little bit rusty where it's been hanging around and not moving, so I just give that a bit of a scrub down while I've got free access to it. Right, cool. Right, there we go, that's the chain sorted. That's what I used. Don't really need it, it's a bit of a con, to be honest, but I've had it ages. But yeah, it's come up nice and clean actually, and nice and flexible. So it needs, there's a couple that are a bit stiff, but frankly a bit of lube and a run will probably square it away. I might just grab a bucket and have a bit of a wipe out here before I chuck the wheel back on. It's a big old space there. And what else did I notice? I think that's the side sensor which capped off there. Done a decent enough job. I'm not going to piss around with it. Right, happy. Let's get the wheel back on, because what I really want to achieve today, I want to flush the coolant. There is coolant issues on this, mostly the fact that the carb is tied up, and I'm not getting any flow through it, and there's no pipes going to it. But I at least want to get some in, because when I get this running again, when the carb kit runs up, I don't want to burn it out. Right, cool. Right, so that's the wheel back on. Just got to sort out the brake now. It's actually a little bit of grease has really eased that up. The bearings are absolutely fine. Happy. Let's get this brakes on. Right, and there we go, back on, brakes on. Job's a good one. Yeah, really chuffed I got that out. Yeah, I could have persevered and carried on, but I'm going to need a new tyre for this anyway, so it might have just saved me a trip and a takeoff, but we'll see. Worst case, most likely. Sorry, I've ordered a nut for that for the sake of about £3. Yeah, worst case, I'll just resell that as a complete unit now with a disc that's not wavy, which is good. And somebody else can take it on. Right, what next? I'm going to drop it off the stand, just so I can get to it more than anything else. And I want to sort out the what do I want to sort out? I want to sort out the coolant. You ever get that feeling that you're cursed? Arse. Oh well. Right, definitely on the list of things I need to sort out, that bolt. That's just pissed me off. But my thinking is, although that's a low point, actually these hoses are pretty low as well. So I'm just going to whip the hoses off and try it that way, see what I get out of it. Now, early stages, this is actually relatively clean, but it has got no colour to it. It is just water, I think. Tastes quite sweet though. Okay, right, I'm going to get this hose off proper, hopefully without splitting it, and go for it that way. I wonder if I can do it by topping up actually. Yeah, well, let's see. So I'm going to have to call it a halt there. That's more like what's coming through the radiator system. Really annoying about that bolt going, particularly after celebrating that I got the other one out. Probably tempted fate too much, but it's easing out as is. It just needs a good flush, and I'll sort that bolt out at some point. But I think I've used all my seized bolt luck for the moment, so I'm not going to persevere with it too much. I'll do. It's a really short one, not a great deal going on. Apologies, it's a bit damp this one, but need to sort the house out. Actually got house guests coming, so we need to get it a bit more presentable. Yeah, got the in-laws coming round, and they are bringing the hugger that I've had delivered to them, so well happy. Right, cool, that'll do me for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later on. Cheers.